What is going on, crypto folks? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to talk to you guys about the following. First, we're going to open up and kick things off with a brief discussion about the World Mobile Token or the World Mobile Project. We're also going to talk about Danketsu, which is an NFT project building on Cardano, and their upcoming Launchpad sale on the GeniusX platform. And then we're going to wrap up by talking about two projects that have gotten a lot of attention over the course of the last 2 days. And that's going to be the Mutant Labs NFT collection, as well as the ADA handle standard. Now, before we jump into today's content, as always, if it's your first time stopping by, my name is Fareed, and I aim to provide you guys in the Cardano community with the latest news, tutorials, and reviews for the top projects on Cardano. And so if this type of content interests you, please make sure to tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions for myself, then make sure to leave a comment down below. And most recently, I've kicked off my own stake pool. And so if you're looking to contribute and support the channel that way, then make sure to stake with the Dapp ticker or the Dapp stake pool ticker, which I'll leave a link to down in the description below. That's going to wrap it up for the intro. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into the first topic for today's video, which is going to be a community update Twitter space coming down the pipes from the World Mobile team. Now, if you guys have not heard of World Mobile before, their goal is to connect the unconnected through a sharing economy, in which they've already built out and started implementing this plan, as we've seen in Zanzibar already, with the rollout of almost 250 air nodes. Taking a closer look at the official World Mobile Twitter, as it states here, World Mobile speakers have been confirmed for tomorrow's community update. We can expect to hear from the following. First off, their CEO, Mickey Watkins. We can also expect to hear from their COO, Alan Omnet, as well as Antonio Hernandez, Josie Page, and last but not least, Mike Blake Crawford, who's their marketing director, who I actually had the pleasure of meeting and speaking with late last week. Now, if you're wondering when this Twitter space will be occurring, it'll be taking place on January 26th, which is tomorrow of 2023 at 8:00 p.m. UTC. Now, what I want to do is quickly jump over into WMT Scan, which is a platform that gives us a lot of analytics as it relates to the actual development and the rollout of the air nodes and the actual mission of the World Mobile team. So as we can see, we've gotten a recent price up increase with the WMT token price, which is now trading at about 18 cents per token, with a market cap of about $61 million, with a total supply of 2 billion tokens. And in my last video, I actually mentioned that they had a circulating supply of 343,000. It's actually 343 million. So I want to thank you guys for keeping me honest in that regard. And then when it comes to the global stake balance, that's also chilling at a cool 254 million tokens right now. Now, the key thing that I really wanted to highlight here was the fact that they now have an additional 10 air nodes deployed. So in my last update video, and if you guys want to find out more about World Mobile, I do have a fully dedicated playlist, which I will continue to update moving forward. But when I shot that last video, they had a total of 237 air nodes deployed. Now, their goal was to get 225 deployed right before the actual beginning of this new year, which is 2023. And they did meet that goal. So since then, they've deployed what appears to be an additional 20 to 22 air nodes within the last 25 days. So that's pretty impressive. That's almost at a rate of 1 air node per day. Now, when it comes to the actual total network consumption, this has dropped off just a little bit, but it's chilling right now at 1.7 terabytes being consumed over the course of the last 24 hours. Now, in terms of the actual unique users on this platform, right, we can see that it has been hovering over 20,000 very consistently actually for the past 2 or so months. And then in closing here, the network has been up for a total of 265 days and 11 hours without any downtime. Now, the next thing I want to highlight is if you guys want to kind of get your questions in order for tomorrow's Twitter space, again, which will be taking place on January 26th, we did see Mickey Watkins, who is their CEO, make an appearance, a guest appearance on the Digital Asset News show. So what I want to do is just quickly play a small intro for you guys here. just a teaser, and if you guys want to watch this in its entirety, then definitely make sure to use the link down in the description below. It's about a 10 to 15 minute interview. Again, just doing a lot of expectation setting for what we can expect as a part of tomorrow, and then giving the community a brief update as to the progress of the World Mobile Testnet, which is ongoing, I believe, for the Earth node operators. So let me go ahead and mute myself, and I'm going to play just a snippet of this, and then we're going to pick right back up.
All right, so everybody, what I want to do is, like we talked about in the intro, just bring in Mickey Watkins just to ask some basic questions. Mickey, thanks for coming back. I think this is like the third or fourth time you're on the show.
I'm a regular and I love it. Thanks for having me on again.
You are a regular. So I got three big questions for you. So first of all, what's the status of these Earth node operators on the Aya testnet? I know there's a lot of questions going on there and people want to know, so it's a good thing you're here. We can talk about it. The second one is what's happening with branching out to other countries. It's great that we're starting in Africa and Tanzania and you got everything worked up. But I mean, we got 3 billion people to help service. So how are things going with that? And then lastly, what are some of the things you're most excited about and not excited about for this year? Like what's hindering progress, that type of thing. So those are the three questions. Let's start with the first one. What's the status? Because I am an Earth node operator, Mickey, as you know, and I'm getting a little restless. So tell me what's going on here.
Okay, the community is also very eager to jump on. I believe that tomorrow during our AMA, which you're more than invited to come to, and so is everybody else listening here, there will be an announcement from Antonio on the next onboarding process for Earth node operators. But we're looking to get everybody onto testnet really rapidly.
Okay, as rapidly as we possibly can. Sounds good.
All right, guys, as I promised, I just wanted to play a brief snippet there for you guys. So hopefully that's piqued your interest. Again, I will leave the full length video down in the description below. Definitely go ahead and give Digital Asset News a thumbs up and a subscribe. I think Dan does a really good job of providing a lot of crypto updates, not necessarily tied to Cardano, but he does invest, and he's pretty open about that, into a lot of crypto and Cardano specific projects, including World Mobile. He's going to be an Earth node operator. He also invests in Meld and I believe Cornucopias as well. But that's going to wrap it up for the first introduction, or the first topic for today's video. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be the fact that Genius Yield will now be using their Launchpad platform for their second public Launchpad sale. Now, if you guys don't know about Genius Yield, they're going to be an accelerator program building on Cardano right now. And what we saw was that they used their platform in collaboration with the Genius Yield team, which is actually made up of, I want to say, about the same exact team members. So Genius Yield is kind of like the parent project, and then we've got GeniusX right below them, right? And so in collaboration, we did see the official launch of the Genius Yield token on the Launchpad built by the GeniusX team. Now, that was the first sale, and what we now have is the second sale, which is actually going to be for the Danketsu token, or the Danketsu NFT project. Now, this was previously known as the Ada Ninjas project, and I had the pleasure of speaking with Josh from Lake Game Crypto about this project here in one of my prior videos. And so I'll go ahead and leave the link to that as well. But this is an up and coming project that's been around the ecosystem for quite a bit of time, and they've got quite a few different NFT collections. And so what I want to do is just quickly highlight some of the information here. And if you guys are interested, I will be releasing a fully dedicated video surrounding the actual Launchpad and the token sale, and how you guys in the community can get access to their Ninjas token. So as it states here, hello Cardano and Ada family, GeniusX is honored to announce that we are hosting the public sale for Danketsu NFT. The sale will consist of 2 separate rounds. Now, if you guys participated in the prior sale for the Genius Yield token, I believe that took place over the course of 4 rounds, in which the first 3 rounds required whitelisting access or delegation to the Genius Yield ISPO. And in this case here, we're going to see a total of 2 rounds. So it's not uncommon to see multiple rounds for these Launchpad sales. Now, the first round is going to be for Danketsu NFT holders and GeniusX ISPO delegators. And then the second round will be open to the public. So just like I mentioned there, looks like they're following a similar scheme in which they're rewarding people who are kind of a little bit closer or more invested in the project as a part of the first round. And then anybody who is not necessarily a holder or a delegator within the GeniusX ISPO, or just the general public, right, is another way to put it, can get access to this sale as a part of the second round. Now, like I said, I will be leaving a link to my fully dedicated video, which I'll try to release either late today or tomorrow, but the sale will be taking place in early February. So there is a little bit of time to go and pick some of these NFTs off of these secondary marketplaces if you're interested in doing that, or if you've already delegated to the Genius Yield ISPO, then again, you will be eligible to participate in that first round. If you guys want to get access to these NFTs, here's the link to them. Again, I'll leave the link to the JPEG store NFT collection. And I just want to say that this is more than just an NFT collection. When I spoke with Josh from Late Game, he mentioned that yes, while they do have the NFT collection, which is kind of the forefront of this platform, they are also releasing music on platforms such as Apple Play Store or the Apple Music Store. And then they're also releasing a ton of additional music on platforms such as Spotify. Now, on top of that, they've also got, I believe, a comic series in which they reach out to the community to actually get guidance as to how the story actually develops. So these guys are really plugged in here. Again, the artwork is amazing. The floor prices is not too bad. I'll be checking them out myself. But again, I always urge you guys to make sure to do your own research. That's going to wrap it up there for the second topic for today's video. The third topic I want to mention is going to be a shout out to Matt Gosdragon, who is a member of the Meld team. Now, Matt actually plugged me into a potential interview with Deezy, who's a pretty well-known member within the crypto and blockchain space. He's a member of the BitBoy Hit network. And so he posted earlier, and this is Deezy, saying yes to all crypto and NFT shows, as well as podcasts. Tag one for me to reach out to. No channels too small. We are all building. And so this is where Matt had just the insight to just plug myself in. And thank you, Matt. I definitely appreciate this. And it's led to Deezy giving me a follow. And we are now DMing each other to figure out what time works best for him, as well as me, to have a collaborative chat for you guys in the community. So we'll probably be talking about the JPEG Junkies, which is the NFT collection that Deezy has put together for the Cardano community. And then I'll probably just pick his brain just as to what his sentiment is right now, whether we are in the bear, in the bull. But if you guys have any questions that you guys want me to post to Deezy, then definitely make sure to leave one of those down in the comment section below. I'll try to do my best to kind of handpick the most thoughtful ones to post to him once we actually meet. Now, the icing on the cake here is that I did actually have the pleasure of meeting Deezy at the CNFTCon and Rare Bloom events. I should have took a picture with them, but definitely next year or this year when those events come back up, I will make sure to do so. Again, big shout out to Delta Bay Matt. Give him a follow. Also give the Meld team a follow. Again, they're doing a ton of hard work with their recent launch on the testnet that just occurred on January 19th. That was it for that one. Short and sweet. And in closing of today's video, what I want to talk about is going to be a minor hack or a minor issue that we saw with the Mutant Labs project, as well as the ADA Handle team. Now, both of these teams have come forward and they've been super transparent. And that's actually the point that I want to make in raising this. It's not to bring any additional FUD. They've been more than open and transparent as to their shortcomings. And I think that the community understood that, was able to see that, and has essentially forgiven them and is also rooting for them to just kind of keep on going. So first, we're going to talk about the Mutant Labs mishap. And so this was actually a tweet that I saw early this morning when I woke up, which I'll briefly read you guys. And then there is a post by Sebastian Guillemot, who is a very well-known person within the developer space on Cardano, who kind of weighs in on what the actual cause of the issue was as well. So as it states here from Mike D, attention everyone using Mutant Labs and raffles. As of this moment, we have had a breach in the system. We are aware that tokens have been displaced and the team is working on this now. Please withdraw all of your tokens at this moment if you have any in your account for any of the projects. Now, if I jump over into this next tweet, this is again by Sebastian Guillemot, and this was posted right as the actual news about the Mutant Labs hack broke out as well. So he states here, looks like another hack due to mishandling of mangled or Franken addresses in Cardano. Now, this was my first time actually hearing about Franken or mangled addresses on Cardano. And so I will leave the link to this thread down below. This is very informative, but I do want to just preface this that this is a little bit technical, so if you're not too in the technical weeds as to how stake keys work, addresses work, this will probably require you a little bit of catching up. But for me, I did find this to be helpful, and so I'll just kind of highlight the two parts that I found to be the most beneficial for you guys. So it states here, there are multiple kinds of addresses in Cardano. The one that you are most familiar with is the base address, where the address contains two keys. The first part of this type of address is the payment credential, which decides who can actually spend the ADA. The second is the stake credential, which decides who can delegate the ADA. And I can definitely attest that I've seen the both of these here. Now, if I scroll down just a little bit, he's going to talk about the actual Franken addresses. So you can take this a step further, though. You can attach your staking key to someone else's payment key, or you can attach their staking key to your payment key. These are generally called mangled or Franken addresses. And again, this is what was basically used in this case to withdraw some of the Mutant Labs tokens that was staked on their platform. So if I'm not mistaken, what the developers for the Mutant Labs platform did was that the way that they coded things were to assume that there would always be a one-to-one relationship and that nobody would use these Franken addresses. So somebody was smart enough to circumvent that, and they've taken advantage of that now. As I mentioned before, my goal here is not to spread FUD. The Mutant Labs team did have a Twitter space in which they were completely transparent about everything that occurred, and they've already laid out steps that they want to follow moving forward to make sure that this does not occur in the future. And so that was the first thing I wanted to mention. And in closing, we had a somewhat similar issue, not necessarily with the Franken addresses, but we did have a double mint of the ADA handle standard. Now, if you guys don't know what ADA handles are, this is going to be an NFT naming solution for Cardano, and we would expect to only ever see one ADA handle for a specific character set, right? So there should never be two Cardano ADA handles. There should never be, two handles of the same exact characters or the same character values. That said, we did see a mishap, which again has been resolved, and the team was very clear and very transparent about their shortcomings here. So it states here yesterday, and this was on January 24th, we were made aware of a double mint. If you are aware of how our naming convention stands on its 2 feet, you are also aware that a double mint is a critical blow to our naming convention. So how did this actually happen, and what have we done to actually fix this? If you guys recall, about 2 days ago, we had a degradation of the node synchronicity on Cardano, in which we saw, I think, over 50% of the nodes disconnect and automatically restart. Now, this was not considered an outage because the network was still functional and the nodes behaved as expected and as planned by IOG and the Cardano Foundation. But during this time, right, there was an excessive downtime, and the load balancers returned a 504, which is an inaccessible error code, gateway timeout after 500 seconds of silence from the wallet API. Now, our code incorrectly interpreted this as an error from the wallet API. So that's where the issue kind of begins, when in fact the wallet API was simply waiting on the Cardano node that it's supposed to be talking to come back up. Since the minting engine didn't think the handle was minted, it did a double check for a double mint, didn't see the handle on chain, and tried again. In closing, once the Cardano node came back online, both minting requests went through. And so in a nutshell, that's what happened. Again, this was a double mint of a specific ADA handle. I'm not sure which handle it was, but for now, the team has removed any automatic reinserting back into the minting queue. So moving forward, this should not be an issue. Again, they've already addressed this and they were very transparent about this. And in closing, they did end this tweet thread with the fact that they've reached out to both of the owners. One of the ADA handles has been retrieved and essentially burned. So now they're back to normal. There's no double minting going on, and they've already got a solution in place. And so in closing, they did mention that even if they had not brought this up to the community, the majority of us would not have known. So they did choose to do the right thing, and the support down below at the bottom of this thread tweet really just goes to show there's just so much outpouring support for this team, again, and just doing the right thing and being transparent with the community. So this is what Cardano is all about. This made me have even more hope in the projects that are building. I think that we should all come to understand that no project is perfect. No project is too big to fail. Not that either of these have failed, but everyone will have their mistakes. And this is all part of the process, right? To go through these mistakes, you learn from them, and you grow trust and you grow the community around you. So this does not change my stance on the ADA handle standard or the ADA handle team. I still own plenty of ADA handles, and it doesn't change my mindset as to all the tools in the platform that the Mutant Labs team continues to build. But that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Again, just wanted to keep that short and brief for you guys, in which we talked about the World Mobile Project, who will be having a Twitter space. Again, make sure to check that out tomorrow. We also talked about Danketsu and their GeniusX Launchpad sale. We also then talked about my potential collaboration with Deezy. Again, shout out to Matt, Delta Bay Matt, or Matt Gosdragon, as some of you may know him in the Discord. And then I closed out by talking about the mishap that occurred with the Mutant Labs team, as well as the ADA Handle team, which both of them have come forward and have been completely transparent. If you guys appreciate this update, please make sure to tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing. If you have any questions for myself about anything that we talked about today, make sure to leave a comment down below. And again, if you guys are looking to support the channel, then make sure to stake or delegate with stake pool ticker Dapp. I do appreciate your guys' time today. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I will see you guys in the next video.